Hello, what is going on? I hope you are doing great and phenomenal. Welcome to the fifth episode of the Rumenation podcast. I am your host, Rumen. And as always, we are building a nation that's branded by motivation. That's a process called cultivation. Like, comment, and share this podcast so we can start building that nation. Look, today's guest, born and raised in Australia, took fourth place in the Youth Olympics in the flesh. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us, Sandro.
Hello.
Thank you so much
Hello. Thank you to be here.
yes. Thank you so much for joining me today. And you are in Australia right now, right?
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. That I just wanted the viewers and let people know that you are live in Australia. So thank you so much for joining me today. Without further ado, we're just gonna get started. I'm just gonna ask you a few questions, but before we get into the nitty gritty of kind of like the training and like the mental aspect of things, we're gonna get the ball rolling. So just give us a fun fact about yourself so my viewers can know just something cool about you. Anything could be positive. It could just be something fun about you.
Fun about me. I'm just like a funny person. I keep everyone happy and motivated. And every time someone feels down or sad, I'm the first person who's knocking on the door like, hey, do you want to talk? Or, yeah, it's for me, it's really, I need it that the team is like happy, in a happy mood, always says, yes, I can do it, not like, no, I want to give up or something. That's not the right place
Right.
for me.
Right. No, I appreciate. Yeah, that's amazing. It's funny how you and I are very alike in the sense of like to be happy, like to smile, like to keep it pushing. So we're gonna keep going. And as always, we start. I kind of start off with the vocab word. Every podcast I do, I kind of just ask my guest, let them know what the word is, and I just ask what does it mean in their life. So the vocab for this podcast is adapt. So what is, in your eyes, Sandro, what does adapt mean to you?
Adapt in my eyes is like you have a certain situation. Like in my sport, like the weather isn't that clean than before. You have to adapt with your warm up. You have to adapt with your driving style and with your own sled. Because if you don't adapt, you just say no, don't care about that. I'm just staying at my own thing. You don't get very far, like in the first few the 10 places, in my eyes.
100%, man. That hit it right on the spot. I appreciate it, man. That was amazing. For those who don't know, please let them know, Sandro, what is your sport specifically? What do you do?
My sport is skeleton. Basically, you're driving like with a little sled, head forward, a track, like an ice track from nature or from, I don't know, like everything.
Right. That's absolutely amazing. How I'm just curious, how fast typically does someone go faster on the track or on that?
In my home track in Eagles, I got like 125 miles.
Get out! 125 miles per hour. That's crazy. I'd be scared out of my life. That's crazy. That's crazy. I thought you were gonna say I honestly thought you were gonna say like 50 to 60 miles per hour.
Yeah, too boring.
Too boring, of course. There you go, Sandra. I like it. So we're just getting started with the questions, and it's hot. So thank you for joining. We're gonna get started. So the first question that we're going to talk about is, Sandro, how do training versus cultivation differ? So what's the difference for you?
Pardon? Sorry? What's the difference?
Yeah, what's the difference in training versus cultivation? And cultivation meaning like just bettering yourself as a whole person, not just like as an athlete in training. So what does that mean to you?
Oh, heavy question in the beginning. Like in my own head is like the training makes a person sometimes.
Right.
And I hear it often, I read it often, if people don't do like anything exercising or not doing much for themselves, they're less happy about themselves.
Right.
And that sometimes, maybe it's because I'm a born athlete. I don't know, I've training since I was 3 years old or something, but
Wow.
every time I see someone like, yeah, I don't feel physically and mental health or healthy enough, I just say, yeah, we're going to jog few rounds like in a
Right.
week or something. After a while you get better.
Hmm.
And that's something important to me. Sport is sometimes the key to feel happy.
Yes.
And it's also like in the training itself, like when you in your group, you're happy because yes, I can see them again and I can push myself with them.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's really important for me that like every time you can try to do your sport. If you don't like it, it's you tried it at least.
Right. 100%. I could not agree with you anymore. So, kind of a fun fact about myself, Sandro, is so I broke a world record, and I trained. Yeah, I broke a world record, and I trained out in Colorado, like the higher altitude, for mountains, and that's something that I did different. Like I just didn't train. I actually cultivated. Like I trained like a holistically. Like I trained, the mind, body, and soul, versus just like picking up a weight and doing
Yeah.
the, you know what I mean? Like, because at the end of the day, I feel like when you get into those situations where it requires not just the physical body, like it takes your mind strength, your mental strength. Like you're gonna have to, you're gonna in the moment you're gonna be like, dang it, I should have trained better,
Yeah. It's
So
because like even when you're like on your small records like squats or bench, your mind says you can do it. If your mind don't says no, you
uh,
can't.
right, 100%,
That's the problem.
right.
It's something really, I don't know how to explain it. It's just fascinating.
100%, man. The mind is crazy. The power of thought is unbelievably um, misunderstood. I think it's so powerful.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna get rolling. Continue. So next question is, how can the human ego adversely affect one's athletic performance? And if you need any clarification, just ask me. I'm more than happy to provide any clarity.
No. In my eyes, the human ego helps you a lot, like really much. If you don't have confidence, you can't do
Yeah.
anything. But too much is too bad. You're
Yes.
like, yes, I can do everything. No one gets on my level. And then you fall down, you never get out of it
Yeah.
because you thought you were the best on your particular sport.
Right.
And that's in one moment, like every coach can tell the athlete, you're good at this, and we need to practice on this, but you can't say it too often because at that time the athlete gets on a higher level than he thinks,
Right.
and that's just unhealthy for himself.
Oh, 100%. 100%. So we're going to continue on. And the next question I have for you, Sandro, is how does confidence play a major role in athletic performance?
The confidence. Oh,
Oh.
the confidence is one of the biggest things in the sport
Yes.
because you can like train with yourself, like benching or squats or whatever. Like I don't know how much, but when you're in a competition or you're gonna mess with friends, show them what you can. The
Right.
confidence is there. You will just not going to have your 100% that what you normally can do.
Oh, 100%.
It's you can train yourself like with the confidence. I read it like something really really easy is like take selfies and post them anywhere. That's how you build the self confidence. I was like, maybe he's right, but
Right.
I have my confidence built up in the training or with my mental coach or with my physical coach, and they know me. And every time they seem like I'm a bit nervous or I don't
Yeah.
can do it, he's like, go under the bar and do it. Don't think, just fucking do it. Sorry
Right.
for the language.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. It's all good. Now I was just gonna ask you, do you ever get nervous?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really, really often.
Yeah. It
It's
is
like
like
after a race or before a race, you're just there like fuck, I'm the next.
100%.
That's the moment where you have to be clear, because when you don't clear, you can't drive properly. And if you're not clear, you're just nervous, and then the race is
100%.
going for you.
Right. So next question. You are absolutely doing great. Thank you so much again. So the next question is, when was a situation in sport or competition in which fatigue or discomfort took you off your game? So like, yeah.
One of the more recent races was in Winterberg, Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And I have my whole race preparation. I was like in a hotel room, I have my headphones, I'm in game.
Right.
And I walked down where my whole stuff was, and the door was locked. And I was getting stressed out because I didn't have the keys, and someone who picks me up didn't have the keys either.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, oh, damn it. I was like, really stressed out. Ran through the whole hotel to get the owner to get the second key. Because my race also did start like in an hour or 1.5 hours. I was like, oh God, please don't overreact now. But it took me a while to get me down, but
that would scare the mess.
Yeah.
That would scare the mess out of me too. That's crazy. You
told me you had a world record?
Yeah. So the first world record was do you know when you work out, Sandro, do you ever use those battling ropes?
Yes,
to work out? Yeah, I did that for 10 hours and 12 minutes straight, no breaks.
What?
Yeah. So I really when I say I do the holistic, like full body, mind, body, soul workouts, I really do. And then the next world record was a world record called the 10,000 24-hour. And basically what I did was I swam 10 miles.
Oh.
Like swimming. Yeah. And then I did after that a combined total of 10,000 push-ups, leg raises, and jumping jacks in less than 24 hours. So I'm the first person to ever complete that in less than 24 hours.
Wow, respect, really.
Yeah, I had to. Sorry, what'd you say?
No, pardon. I just wanted to say sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I was just gonna say, yeah, I had to. The questions that I'm going to ask you definitely relate, and I definitely understand when someone says like I had to train, and it's stressful. You get nervous. It was crazy because especially when you get tired and you got to use your mental game and a whole bunch of things. It's pretty hard. So I totally understand. But it's interesting to see it from an athlete who actually, who's training at that high level. So I never did that. So that's amazing that you do that. So
you never did that close to world records.
Well, that's okay. I was gonna say, okay, so yeah, next question is, how do you provision your mental game?
My mental game, like it starts. Well, when did it start? It's a particular in a race week. It starts like every morning. Singly, I just wake up, tell myself some good things, and then I provide it over the day. I have my 3 points that I want to reach.
Yep.
And if I don't reach them, I tell myself, yeah, you did this and this, and you did this great. So you have to be more positive about the whole thing. Before, like 1 day before the race day, I'm waking up, laying besides my bed and think like, how good was the last week? What can I bring through the race day? And after that, like every single week, combine them to have this 1 or 2 perfect runs.
What? That's crazy. Wow. Okay. I appreciate that. That's very insightful. So remind me, because this is just a random question that I have, is how many times do you go around the track? Do you go one time? I don't know.
we have one time with the whole group, we are walking down the track and he says us the basic lines. And then after a while, when you don't have a training because the girls have one, you're just standing, like, try to stand every single corner and record. See what do they wrong and what do they right, and build your own thing about the whole track.
Wow. So like in the race that you do, how many times do you have to go around the track? Like in the sled, in the bobsled, like how many times do you, like, for your race?
I have to. It's different because
Okay.
you have like 2 runs normally.
Right.
And the first one fuck me. And when you hit the first run, you get in the second run.
Like qualifications?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Yep.
And in the second run, there can only be like 20 people.
Oh, so essentially like single elimination, like you have to qualify for the faster time.
Yep.
Wow.
It can be hard when there are 32 starters and there you are a 31.
Wow.
That can be hard because you have to be mentally prepared. Like, yeah, you have to wait half an hour to be on the start.
Right.
That's hard sometimes.
Right. 100%. And this is one just side question as well, just because I'm interested. I can't imagine, but I'm willing to guess the start is how you start is very, very important, huh?
Yes, it is sometimes like few tracks like Eagles or I don't know, Lillehammer in Norway or St. Moritz in Switzerland. The start makes a big difference.
Huh.
But if you can't drive, like if you hit every single thing, then you're bad. Then you're behind again.
Wow.
So the thing is you have to run fast and drive right. That's the.
So you actually steer the sled too, bobsled.
The skeleton sled is like
skeleton. Sorry.
No problem. The skeleton sled is like really low. You have to run in a deep position, like
wow.
On the start on the on the track, and that's like for 25 meters or so that you.
Wow. That's crazy. Wow. That's interesting. So getting back on track, I'm gonna keep going with this. Which form of competitive pressure is easier to succumb, physical or mental? So like, and why or why not?
In my opinion, is the physical heavier to manage. Just because if your legs are tired or if your whole body is tired, you can say, okay, on the warm-up, I'm just doing this, and this, the main part, not anything else to have a rest.
Right.
And yeah, because like when you have a mental problem, when a race day, it's much more harder to convince yourself you can do it.
Wow. That's crazy. I was wondering about that. Which one's the hardest? So wow. Okay.
What's your opinion? Physical or mental?
Out for 100%. I would say harder is psychological. Mental is much harder because you can train the body to condition. Extremely. You that's like the first. That's the necessary standard that you need to qualify in. Now the psychological stuff, that's a different story. You gotta. It's like you have to get to know yourself very, very well. And you know what I mean? Like you have to know yourself. You know what I mean? And you can't go to school or get a degree to study yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like it's about experience. You know what I mean?
Every time something is changing inside yourself.
Right.
And you have to find the middle way to be in peace, and that's hard.
Yes, 100%, 100%. 100%. So the last question I have, we're running through this really, really fast. So thank you. Is when is holistic training underestimated at the professional or Olympic level?
Can you tell me like more? Like
yeah, 100%. So like, at your level of competition, do you see people just working out or doing kind of like the full like mind, body, soul type of working out? And then if so, like, why do you think that is? Like, why do you think that so many people just hit the weight room or just do, squats or deadlifts or not necessarily like doing like the mind body coach,
Yeah. I think there's also like two people difference. One people who say, yeah, with the weight, I'm in myself. I can mentally prepare myself or be mental strong when you like hit the bars or something. And then the other type is after the training, I go meditate or go talk with someone else or talk, correctly said, to myself, like to sort the problems out I have. And that's like on the second station I am. After the training, I just go with myself and say, yes, what is your problem? And then I am talking crazily to myself, like, this is my problem and this is my solution, what I'm going to do with it.
Right.
And it helps me. It helps me really a lot because that keeps me happy, that keeps me smiling, that keeps me helping everyone else.
100%.
So I know myself and I know how maybe they can react to the things I say.
Right.
Yeah.
100%. Mike, my last but not least kind of advice / question is so if there's an athlete, so I have my audience ranges from young to older. And if there's like an athlete, whether it's, it's a 10-year-old boy working out or an athlete at your level of competition, and they're just trying to get some advice on how to become more confident, what advice would you give them?
Be happy with that what you achieve.
Right.
Don't compete with others. Like one of the main problems is you have someone who is older than you, who trains probably more often than you, then you say, yes, I'm going to beat that guy, and you can't easily beat that guy because he's like, I don't know, working every day out or something.
Right, 100%.
And you have to be happy with yourself. You have to say, yes, today I did a great job.
100%.
And then maybe list the things out you did good. Because, like I said, every time you say, I wasn't happy or I didn't complete that what I wanted, you're just going down a hole, and that's heavy to get out of it.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I see. Go ahead. Sorry.
And I probably think you also know that if you're like, we're in midway swimming or something, you'll tell, okay, I'm getting tired, and you try to push yourself like, no, it's not my limit. My limit is far, far, far beyond.
Right. 100%. Yeah, I would say confidence is very, very, very key on building a better athlete on oneself, like not comparing yourself to others, but doing something in best of your control, like your ability, what you can control, you do you, and don't worry about anything else or any external, situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
100%.
I met a lot of people who were like, yes, I try my best, but no one is happy about myself or no one is happy about my results. And I was like, why are you not happy with yourself? Like you broke maybe your record in, I don't know, in running or something. Why are you not happy? One of the few things a human body can reach, because after a while you have your limit. You're getting years older, the limit is beyond. And that's something you should have proud be, because I don't know, can relate to the people who say I'm not happy because someone told me not to be happy. I can't relate to that. It's not getting in my mind, if you can understand me.
No, I totally get what you're saying. At the end of the day, you have to be your biggest cheerleader. You have to be your biggest advocate. You have to give yourself a round of applause when nobody else is there, when nobody else is at the gyms, when nobody else wakes up at 3 a.m., when nobody else does the hours and years of training. You have to give yourself a pat in the back. You have to cheer yourself on.
Yes, that's accurate.
Yes, exactly.
And most of the people are comparing themselves to master athletes.
Right.
Because, like, I don't know, every time you see someone on the podium, you think, wow, he has an easy life because he's just training and no one sees behind it, like the mental stress, the physical stress. They must have to work out or be better than before.
Right.
Yeah, no one can see it if you're not even an athlete or someone who's doing sports very often, or I don't know, it's like his lifestyle or something. You can't see it if you're not.
100%. Well, in conclusion, there you have it, folks. The great and phenomenal Sandro. Thank you again so much, Sandro, and the online viewers. If you're feeling motivated, like, comment, and share this podcast. Again, without the viewers, there would be no nation of motivation. Again, thank you, Sandro, for joining me, and good luck into your skeleton future.
Thank you.
And thank you so much, and good luck in the future.
Thank you. I was really happy to be here.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.